The Robocop franchise of movies was immensely popular when it was first released in the late 80s and received a lot of continued success in the early 90s as well. I know recently they've rebooted the franchise and had a movie within the last 5 or 10 years. Honestly, didn't watch it. But in today's video, I'd like to share with you my thoughts regarding the video game Robocop Rogue City. And I want to share with you my thoughts on whether I think this would be worth your time to play as well. So with that said, let's get to it. So in terms of story, Robocop Rogue City is basically a stand-alone story that takes place sometime after the events that occur in Robocop 2 and before the events that occur in the movie Robocop 3. Now, what's interesting here is they took some character elements from the previous movies, specifically some of the gang members that are responsible for killing Robocop, or Alex Murphy, the officer that becomes Robocop. One of the brothers of one of those main antagonists serves as the main antagonist of this game. His name is Wendell. I forget his last name, but Wendell Andronowski or something like that. But basically, this guy, Wendell, he's out here on a quest now to work alongside OCP in a secret way for a secret mission called Project Afterlife. And basically what he's done is he's working with local gangs to steal bodies or corpses from the local morgues. And what they're doing is they're harvesting various tissues, brain matter, and what have you from the bodies to basically try to make people live forever in these organic, cyborg, robotic sort of crossovers like Robocop is. So the whole game, basically, you're trying to track down this Wendell Andronowski guy. You're trying to figure out his motivations. And you're also trying to find out the bigger picture of who is this person working for. Now, within the game itself, Detroit is pretty much ravaged by crime and poverty, like what you'd see in the movies. And the mega corporation OCP, they're basically on a campaign to try to clean up a large part of the city, especially the slum area. And they're trying to make a brand new development called Delta City. So again, Robocop is going through on various missions, trying to understand what is going on in the environment, whether OCP's actions are legal or not, and ultimately trying to uphold the law to the best of his ability. Now, what's awesome about this game, too, is that they brought in the original voice actor of Robocop, so Peter Weller. He's here. He reprises that role. And I gotta say, like, him in that role, again, it really brings a certain level of authenticity to the game. And as you're playing the game, kind of like what you saw in some of the Robocop movies, if you're a fan of those, Robocop starts to have sort of some flashbacks in his memory core. So he starts to kind of confuse or blur his reality with memories from when he was alive as Alex Murphy. So he's basically still trying to, work through all of that and uphold his mission directives and objectives while having flashbacks from when he was Alex Murphy. Now this game, it does present a little bit of a plot twist at the end of it. So specifically, I'm not going to really give this away for you at all. But if you saw the movie Robocop 2, if you're a fan of that, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with the turn that this game ultimately takes. So in terms of gameplay, this game is relatively straightforward. I mean, it's a first-person shooter, but it does have some level-up sort of elements to it as well. So basically, you walk through the police precinct, you talk to other officers, there's a reporter that's there, there might be some local politicians trying to canvass for either city council or mayor position. And along the course of your dialogue with them, they're going to have missions for you. Now, most of the main stories and tracking down this Wendell character, trying to understand what's going on with OCP and Project Afterlife and sorting those pieces together. But there are some interesting little side missions where you're either dismantling local gangs, cleaning up graffiti in the streets, or something as mundane as issuing parking tickets, believe it or not. One thing I love about this game, though, is that using the controller there's a certain weight to your movements. So what I mean by that is, you can't really just like sprint like you can in these other games. Yeah, you could run a little bit faster, but you definitely feel the weight of your movement, which jives with being whatever, a ton hunk of metal robot that Robocop is. You also hear the different sounds as he moves, which is true to Robocop. And you hear the thump, thump, thump as he's walking through, which I love all of that. It's also pretty cool because there are different parts where he's going to kind of be looking around the environment, scanning things, and you'll hear like little computer sounds as he has mission or objectives or directives that kind of come across on his visor screen, which is really cool as well. But with this game too, I mean, as you complete missions, you get XP. So with the XP, there's approximately 10 different skill trees, if you will, that you can gradually choose to level up as you progress through the game. So it's stuff like increase your armor, increase your aim, increase your ability to dismantle electronic equipment, your ability to upgrade your psychology, which gives you greater access to dialogue choices as you play the game. So there's a lot of different stuff going on with this gameplay, and I found that there was a lot there that kept me interested in playing. But again, that's coming from someone that's a fan of the movies and the property, the franchise itself. If you're not that big of a Robocop fan, I gotta admit, some of this stuff might seem a little bit mundane or repetitive at times, but I really love the gameplay aspect to it. I thought it was great how it's still a first-person shooter to its core, but there are some slight RPG mechanics to it in that you level up and you can kind of choose your progression path. So I thought that was really cool what they did with that. Now, in terms of technical aspects, I played this game on the PlayStation 5. I'm aware that it's also available on Xbox via Game Pass if you want to play it that way. There's also a PC version on Steam. But playing on the PlayStation 5, it ran great. Very smooth, solid frame rate. I didn't notice any, bugs or glitches as I played through it. And I had a really good time with it. Now, like I mentioned before, I love the little subtleties they put in here. So just like looking around at the police precinct, it looks very true to the police station that you would see in the movies. Same thing with the car that Robocop drives. Very true to the film as well. I also really love the sounds they made, from Robocop making the movement sounds to the thump thump as he walks, the scanning sounds as he's looking at things through his visor. It's all really cool stuff, honestly, and the little subtle details they put into this are awesome. Now, in terms of the city Detroit, they really put a lot of time into this to make it look and feel like grimy and gritty. It kind of feels like if you've watched the Batman 1989 movie, the Michael Keaton Batman with Jack Nicholson, how Gotham feels. It's kind of how they captured this Detroit. It really feels gritty like that. And you really do get the sense like, man, I gotta go out here as Robocop and clean up stuff. And, protect the innocent and uphold justice and all that jazz. They did a good job incorporating that overall tone, theme, feel, vibe into the game. Now, in terms of music or game soundtrack, I mean, there's some action music to it, but there's nothing that was truly memorable. Like, there's nothing I'm humming along in my head, or nothing that I'm going to be talking about like, oh man, great music in this game. It was serviceable, but it wasn't necessarily memorable. Definitely wasn't bad, just wasn't memorable. Again, I think, in terms of music or music soundtrack, not a whole lot there, but the subtle sounds from the gameplay, the little technical sounds of the movement of Robocop, the guns, the driving a car, the voice acting, all that is outstanding. Now, in terms of replayability, I'm not honestly sure there's a whole lot there to keep you going back. So, full disclosure, I went through and got the Platinum Trophy, or the Platinum Achievement, or whatever you're calling it, for this game. So I basically did everything. Now, I gotta say, I played through the main campaign, beat that, and then what you're able to do is if you've missed any trophies along the way, you can go back and replay missions. So when I first beat the game, I think I had like a handful of trophies that I still need to go back and get over the course of like 3 missions. So really, I only had to replay parts of 3 missions, not 3 full missions, because once I got the trophies I needed, I got out of there. With that said, having 100% completed everything, gotten all the trophies you can get, etc., is there anything in that game keeping me going back to keep playing? No. There's no additional challenges, there's no achievements or trophies beyond what I already got. There's no DLC for this game yet, at least that I'm aware of. And there's no multiplayer. So if you're looking for a game with a lot of replayability after you've beaten it, this isn't going to be that game. And even, for all the praise I gave the city of Detroit in the game and going around exploring it and seeing what there is there, after you've done it, there's really no point in going back around after you've beaten the game and doing it again. Like, it's more of the same, basically. So I've got to rate it a little bit low there based on the replayability. And like I said, after you beat it, I at least personally was just done with it. But still a fun game. So final thoughts. Robocop Rogue City is a very fun game. It's a very fun experience for both fans and non-fans alike. Detroit in this game is very realistic. They did a great job with Robocop. The visuals of Robocop, the gameplay mechanics of playing as Robocop, the sound effects. I love that the original actor, Peter Weller, is voicing Robocop in this game. And it really did a good job of creating an independent sort of standalone story that fits nicely at the end of what happens in Robocop 2. In terms of setting up Robocop 3, I don't really care because Robocop 3 was a crap movie. I only watched it one time. Have no interest in going back and rewatching it. But this did a good job of kind of scratching my itch for more Robocop after thoroughly enjoying the movies, Robocop 1 and Robocop 2. Now, will this game be for everyone? No. And because of that, I have to give this 2 ratings. Basically, I'm gonna preface it for the Robocop fan rating and the non-Robocop fan rating. So for those of you that aren't really familiar with Robocop, or even just casual fans, and by casual fans, I mean maybe you've seen a movie, maybe you know who Robocop is, but you don't really own any of the movies. You haven't really watched the movies multiple times. You're in that casual bucket. For you, I would rate this game a 7 out of 10. It's a good first-person shooter. It's a fun time, but there are certain things that hold it back, like the lack of replayability, the fact that sometimes some of the missions or the objectives, what you're doing, might feel mundane or boring, and how, I guess if you really don't know what's going on with Robocop and some of the backstory, you might not really be as fully invested as the story as others. Now, if you consider yourself a Robocop fan, this game for you, I would rate an 8 out of 10. It is a fun time. It's a very good game. It is a very good call to previous Robocop experiences, while also building on and making something entirely new. It is a fun game. I don't remember the exact amount of time I sunk into it. I sunk somewhere between 30 and 45 hours to do everything and beat it. But I did enjoy all of those moments playing it. I can tell you there are some games out there where you load it up and it kind of feels like work. It feels like you're just having to grind through to get to the end of it. I never felt that way about this, but also I'm a little bit biased being a Robocop fan. Taking that lens off, I could definitely see if I were not a Robocop fan, I might have put this down at certain points and maybe picked it up again later, maybe not. I'm not sure. But take that information, do with it what you will. But regardless, I think if you're a fan of first-person shooters and you're looking for something a little bit different to play from the other first-person shooters out there, definitely give this game a chance. I don't think you'll be too disappointed by it. Now, especially since it's on Xbox Game Pass now, and if you have access to that, you can basically play this game for free. I'm assuming you have Game Pass, so definitely check it out. And if you've played this, I'm definitely curious to know your thoughts as well. Let me know in the comments if you played this or if there are other games kind of in this genre of building upon movie lore but being standalone game products. Let me know as well, too. So as always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for subscribing. We'll catch you next time.